He's more machine now than man, twisted and evil.
Mr. President, today we find ourselves in a pivotal moment in American history. And millions of Americans, by their actions or lack of action, will determine the future of our country for decades. In my view, the Trump administration is moving this country very aggressively into an oligarchic form of society where extraordinary power rests in the hands of a small number of unelected multi-billionaires. The Trump administration is moving this country very aggressively into an authoritarian society where the rule of law and our Constitution are being ignored and undermined in order to give more power to the White House and the billionaires who now control our government. The Trump administration is moving this country very rapidly toward a kleptocracy, where the function of government is not to serve the needs of ordinary people, but to enrich those who are in power.
President of the United States is fucking lying!
There's American troops being involved in that area. It seldom works that well.
Oh, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's not who we are as a nation to be looking at displacing people from their land and taking it over.
Is that now American foreign policy?
It's no, and it's nonsense.
Well, the president has certainly been thinking outside the box.
Is there even a box in this case?
Right.
Senator, can we have a reaction to Donald Trump's proposal on Gaza?
I already talked about a kink in the slinky.
Do you even take his proposal seriously?
You have to take him seriously.
Look, I think ultimately what we want is what's best for the people of Gaza. We want them to have an opportunity where they can prosper and be safe. And so obviously we'll continue to engage in conversations about that and how you keep the people of Israel safe as well.
But were you shocked by President Trump's announcement?
We'll continue to be.
Is that now American foreign policy?
To the entire area. We'll continue to be committed.
Yeah, I think there's problematic. I think American troops being involved in that area.
Curated by the Heritage Foundation, the 900-page initiative claims to be a, quote, comprehensive guide for the next conservative U.S. president. It offers several different proposals to create a sweeping overhaul of the executive branch. Donald Trump and his campaign are actively distancing themselves from Project 2020.
Of the United States is fucking lying!
The former president even calling some of the recommendations, quote, abysmal. However, our CBS News data journalism team went through the project's documents line by line and found more than a third of the 735 proposals were aligned with Trump's past policies and current promises.
Of the United States is fucking lying!
Kelly is the vice president of data journalism for CBS News and Stations. He joins us now to talk about the findings. So, John, of those 271 proposals you found that relate to Trump, how many were executive orders and official White House policies?
Right. We compared the language of the proposals in the document against policies that had already been implemented. And about 80 of them were things that were executive orders or rules and regulations within agencies during the first Trump term. Another 21 were that, as well as things that the former president has repeated on the campaign trail, reiterating his support for.
What about your analysis about former Trump administration officials and their connection to Project 2025?
We went back and looked at the work histories for all 38 of the people that are listed as primary authors of the report, including the two leaders of Project 2025. And 28 of those 38 people worked during the Trump administration, during that first term, working everything from senior advisors to agency officials and leaders of large projects.
Then, a week ago, Trump backed out. The campaign offered shifting explanations. First, it complained that we would fact-check the interview. We fact-check every story. Later, Trump said he needed an apology for his interview in 2020. Trump claims correspondent Leslie Stahl said in that interview that Hunter Biden's controversial laptop came from Russia. She never said that.
Of the United States is fucking lying.
Trump has said his opponent doesn't do interviews because she can't handle it.
Of the United States is fucking lying.
Previously declined another debate with Harris, so tonight may have been the largest audience for the candidates between now and Election Day.
Out was that this was a staggeringly dishonest debate performance from former President Trump. Just lie after lie on subject after subject. By my preliminary count, Jake, Trump made at least 33 false claims, 33. By contrast, by, again, a preliminary count, Vice President Harris made at least one false claim, though she added at least a few misleading claims and a few more that lack key context. I think a lot of Americans say, well, all politicians lie. No major presidential candidate before Donald Trump has ever lied with this kind of frequency. A remarkably large chunk of what he said tonight was just not true.
Of the United States is fucking lying.
And this wasn't like little exaggeration, political spin. A lot of his false claims were untethered to reality. On abortion, saying every Democrat wanted Roe v. Wade overturned, though actually more than 80% of Democrats supported Roe. On crime, saying it's through the roof, though it's actually sharply down since early 2023. It's now lower than it was since Trump left office. On healthcare, saying he's the one who saved Obamacare, the law he actually repeatedly tried to overturn.
Of the United States is fucking lying.
On Kamala Harris herself, saying that a Howard University grad, Black Law Students Association president, had claimed that she wasn't black at one point.
Of the United States is fucking lying.
I don't have enough time here to run through each specific Trump false claim. I urge people to go to our CNN website or our app to read our team's detailed fact checks on this and a whole bunch more. For now, though, let's dive into one false claim Trump made, an egregious claim about migrants supposedly eating people's pets.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
This is not only false, I think it's fair to call this odious.
Of the United States is fucking lying.
This, for people who have not been online in the last couple of days, this claim about migrants, Haitian migrants in Springfield, Ohio, eating people's pets originated with a Facebook post that attributed the claim to a neighbor's friend's daughter. So, you know, a third-hand broken telephone kind of thing. The city of Springfield and the Springfield police say there are no credible reports of this happening. And even J.D. Vance, the vice presidential candidate who himself had promoted these claims, acknowledged this morning that the, quote, rumors might turn out false, although he still encouraged people to spread these cat memes. Now, I'll note that Trump himself added dogs to the equation. They had not even been part of these viral nonsense rumors before. Now, let's look at one false claim that Vice President Harris did make about the economic situation that the Biden-Harris administration was left by Trump.
Let's talk about what Donald Trump left us. Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment since the Great Depression. And what we have done is clean up Donald Trump's mess.
So the Biden-Harris administration was not actually left the worst unemployment since the Great Depression. They were left a 6.4% unemployment rate in January 2021. That was certainly elevated by recent standards, pretty high, but it was significantly down from the 14.8% level it reached early in the pandemic. So it was already improving at the time the Biden-Harris administration took office. And that 6.4% level was the highest since the Great Recession. So in the last 20 years, not going back decades further. Anderson?
Daniel, thanks very much. A lot to go through.